If you bought stocks in the first half of 2022, you lost. If you bought bonds, you lost. If you bought commodities, you were doing great until recently. If you bought crypto, you lost. If you held US dollars, you were okay but lost purchasing power to inflation. So really, how bad was the first half of 2022? According to Deutsche Bank, using the US 10-year Treasury or proxy index, this was the worst first half since 1788, and that includes a late June rally. The S&P 500 saw the worst first half total return since 1962. The recent rally barely pulled it back from being the worst since 1932. And according to Bank of America, in real terms, the S&P 500's performance was the worst since 1872. But that's not all of the good news. According to the Fed's GDP model, the estimate for real GDP has collapsed in recent days. Growth in the second quarter of 2022 has been cut to negative 2.1%, down from negative 1% on June 30th, just a day ago. This is also down from a 0.0% growth rate estimate on June 15th, which is down from a positive 0.9% growth forecast on June 6th, and down from a 1.3% growth forecast on June 1st, and down from a 1.9% forecast on May 27th. Nice. And so the continued erosion in economic data, along with the Atlanta Fed forecast for the second quarter GDP growth of negative 2.1%, means that July 1st is technically the first day of a recession. Want to get rich? Stocks are now going on sale at a location near you. And two quick charts before the July 4th holiday. Here we're taking a look at the 2-year weekly chart on the volatility index. And as you can see, the symbol is $VIX using stockcharts.com. We've visited this site many times and not much is changing except for the fact that the VIX continues to coil. You can see here in the middle of the chart, this bottom and basing has moved on up. And you can see from the top up here, it's coming up against this trend line ceiling, but it continues to coil tighter and tighter and tighter. I'm betting it's going to pop up. It might pop down, but I'm going to wait before I do any buying because I want to see which way that the VIX moves, because the stock market is going to move in the opposite direction. So if the VIX moves up, the stock market moves down. And I think that's what the probability is. But I'm going to sit on the sideline with my cash and watch and wait. Let's take a look at our charts. And this chart here is the 3-year weekly chart on the spiders, the SPY, and the close on Friday, 381.24. Now, we're still stuck in this downward channel with the bottom trend line looking like that, and then the top trend line moving through like that, more or less. You can see we're toward the bottom trend line, so perhaps we're due for a bit of a rally here, and that may happen. So we'll again watch and wait to see if we can move past this midline or even up to the top trend line. Now, we really want to move up and through that top trend line if we're going to establish a new trend on the upside. But we have a ways. The economy is weak and getting weaker, as I just said. Moving down here into volume, not much to gather from that chart, but here you can see the MAC. The MAC is going to try to bottom and base here. It wants to turn up oh so badly. We've been on the downside for quite some time, say all the way up here, and we rolled on over. But let's see if we can get some bottoming and basing and at least an attempt to move up and through that slow line. But even if it does move up and through that slow line, we're so weak at below this -10 that it's only going to be a rally, but I don't think it's going to have much steam behind it. So we'll just have to watch and wait for that. Again, be patient. And here in the histogram, you can see the same thing. It's having an attempt or two at an upward move, but it's got a ways to go before it gets to that 0 line. So just stand by. It's like watching paint dry or grass grow. Here, the price rate of change, once again, very slow, very methodical, bottoming and basing. It's going to take a while. There's no hurry to go in and buy any of these stocks. I would just say conduct your fundamental analysis and keep watching for good stocks to buy when the opportunity comes. Now, we do have a positive sign here with the relative strength index at this bottom here. Looks like we have perhaps a bit of a trend to the upside, but it's not really all that convincing, at least to me. We can see here stochastics do look like they want to bottom and base, but again, very weak down in this oversold territory. We need to move up and out of that towards that mid or 50 line and hopefully further than that, but that's going to take a few weeks. Into the Williams, again, the Williams is one of the first oscillators to make a move, and it's not making much of a move. There is an attempt at a bottom and basing, but no real attempt to climb out of that cellar on the way up. So back up here to the price chart, one last look. So you already know what I'm going to say. I'm going to say enjoy your 4th of July weekend. And for today, that's ChewDog Charts. Thank you.